I'm going to go back to Hoda Abdel-Hamid. Hoda, you're in Mughayyir, near Ramallah, which was raided by Israeli forces that were conducting door-to-door interrogations just a few days ago. What can you tell us on your side of things?
That's right, and actually these kind of raids are called, referred to as intelligence mapping. Now, we have been speaking to a few people here in Mughayyir, and they told us that really on that day, what they described as at least a few hundred soldiers coming into this village of just 4,000 people and going really from house to house, interrogating people, confiscating Palestinian flags, checking on their social media, and also detaining a good number of youth. I have to say that what I just heard from Mohammed Jamjoom about the conditions in prison of the young Ahmed, this is exactly what I heard here from some young men that I've been chatting with who had just been released, who spent some of them up to 15 months in prison just for throwing a few stones. And they describe exactly the same thing, that after there's life in prison until October 6th, and then there's a life in prison after October 7th, and the conditions just went dramatically worse after October 7th. And they said that the violence really spiraled out of control, with security forces storming into their cells, sometimes with dogs, petrifying them, beating them, breaking some limbs, some hands, some legs. So a very dire condition, a lack of food, lack of electricity. Now, I am joined here by Nauman Abu Naim. He is the father of young Ahmed, who is now 17 years old, but who went into jail the first time when he was 15, the second time when he was 16. And Ahmed doesn't want to speak to us because he is afraid of returning to jail. Nauman, أنت كنت بتقولي إن ابنك مش عاوز يحكي معنا.
You were telling me that your son did not want to talk to us, did not want to make any statements. Why is he afraid? Was he threatened? What happened? He did not receive any threats, as far as I know. However, but it's probably because he was imprisoned once, twice, 3 times. He's afraid of being taken once again. However, he said that before being released, one of the officers told him, no celebration, you're not allowed to do anything, or we will be back. Well, it is possible that the officer told him such things. He probably told him, don't celebrate, don't do anything of the sort, or we will be back for you. You were also telling me that the day of his release, you received a phone call, correct? Yes, I did receive a phone call at around 3 p.m. on Friday. I was checking social media, checking through the names of the released prisoners. I received a call from somebody who introduced himself as Captain so-and-so, and he told me that your son will be released. Have you heard? I told him, yes, I heard. So he told me, make sure that your son is cautious, make sure he doesn't do anything, and also when you receive him, make sure you don't celebrate, make sure you don't show any enthusiasm. So I told him there will be nothing of the sort because we have martyrs, we have injured people, and we are not going to celebrate. I think I also told him that none of the detainees' parents will be celebrating. In your opinion, what is the purpose of that phone call? Is it psychological pressure, maybe? I don't know. It could be psychological pressure. Maybe they don't want any slogans to appear in the media. I don't know what exactly is the purpose. You were telling me that nearly half the inhabitants of the village are young men between 15 and 25 years of age, and most of them were detained. That is correct. So tell me about this constant pressure on young men. It's like they're being targeted. Yes, that is correct. As far as the population of the town is concerned, the population is pretty small, but I'm not sure why that particular category is being targeted. Some of them are detained and they're trialed. Some of them are not even trialed. They're asked to pay a fine and then they're released. What do you think is the purpose of this pressure being exerted on your young men? I don't know. The pressure is being exerted on all Palestinian people, not just our youth and not a particular town. The pressure is being felt by all Palestinian people. When your son was released, did you feel like he was showing any emotion as a result of what he experienced in prison following the beginning of the war? Yes. He told me that. For prisoners who were particularly young, the situation weren't particularly good, but it was okay. However, after October 7th, things went south and the situation became very dire. Did he provide any details? He said that prison authorities took away their blankets, took away their dishes, their cutlery, even the windows were broken, and they had some curtains which were torn apart, so they were mistreated. Thank you.
I was actually also speaking earlier to the cousin of Ahmed, who has also been in prison, in the same prison, but they hadn't seen each other inside, kept quite separate. And he was telling me that the most difficult was to be locked in these cells all day long, with the windows had been at that point blacked out, very little food, and also completely cut off from the world. No contact whatsoever with his parents or with his lawyer or anything like that. And they felt really, the way this young man was describing, that they felt that they were trapped, cut off from the world, and the focus of the revenge of the soldiers after the October 7th attack. And they felt that they were really been made to pay the price of what had happened. They also described that once after October 7th, there was a change of guard inside the prison, and all of a sudden it was the military in charge, the soldiers who were in charge, and not anymore the normal security and the normal prison guards. And and they said it's when the military showed up that that treatment became much worse, and it went on day and night. So it was really, they were all on edge, waiting to figure out or wondering what would happen next to them or to the other inmates in the same cell.
Hoda, listen, thank you very much for that interview and for that account. You know, what's striking, as you've been interviewing families of people of released Palestinian prisoners over the last few days, as well as our other teams, Nida, Charles, Mohammed in Jerusalem, what has been striking is how much commonality there is between what all those people have been saying, of different ages, different genders, people who've been detained in different places for different things, but the accounts that they are giving of, you know, their detention and what that was like, and the fact that it got markedly worse after October 7th, there's a lot of commonality between what they're all saying. Hoda Abdel-Hamid, thank you very much.